And we are all on the correct map. Good. Correct map is showing to the chat. Also good. I think we are ready to rock and or roll.
Nice.
I'm ready whenever you guys are. What I'm
Awesome.
doing, but I'm ready.
Have I played a tabletop game with either of you guys before?
I've never played a tabletop game online ever, so
Yeah.
by definition, no.
Me
All right.
either.
Well, hi guys, I'm Dave.
I'm Pat.
Hi, I'm John.
All right then. Let's never speak of this again.
Taking this one to my grave.
Okay, now I am going to begin the game.
Woo!
Roving Bastion Armsweir. Tales from the history of the Four-Season War. This is Operation One Shot. The THF is slowly regaining lost territory. That's the THF is the Terran Hegemony Forces. It's slowly regaining territory that they lost to the Satrapy of Zera armed forces who have invaded Earth and taken over much of the world. The THF slowly took back much of eastern Canada and parts of the eastern United States with a daring strike through Greenland, and they're making good progress in Europe and China. Their new roving bastions, the ALM, the Armsweir limited model, are not well suited to the jungle or the desert, so anywhere they have to contend with that, progress has been slow or non-existent. The SAF, on the other hand, has just rolled out a new series of roving bastions in an attempt to counteract the ALM. We've got the Switch, which is swift and can hover. We've got the Bongle, which is heavily armored and is good at fighting. And then we have the Doughboy, which is a versatile all-rounder and is capable of going toe-to-toe with the feared THF robot Armsweir. SAF Earth Commander Garmin Garbo received intelligence from his sister Co-Fiber Garbo, indicating that the THF's PBR light weapons, that's particle beam rifle light, require a special component called a P-clip to power their devastating particle beams, and that these clips can only be recharged at a facility that manufactures them, or on some advanced warships such as the Ivory Garrison, home of the Armsweir. Garmin has discovered the location of the PBR factory, and it's now up to Commander Sear Easeworthy and the crew of his submarine, the Testy Frogfish, to take it out. That's where you three come in. Sear Easeworthy is your commander. He's always worn a full face mask, but he's got a prescription for it. Don't worry about that. Nothing suspicious about it in the least. So he's in charge of your day-to-day operations, and he has handpicked you three as his chosen strike force while operating from the Testy Frogfish, which roves around underwater, attacking targets of opportunity and suppressing THF forces as they attempt to fight back and retake the Earth. So the three of you have been deployed. We're going to start you in the middle of the action. You had to deploy without your roving bastions.
What?
Because
I signed up for one thing.
Question, can we use the cars that are visible on the map?
you may be able to. The reason you went without them to begin with, obviously, is because this base that you're attacking is heavily defended and fortified. And if you were to come tromping over the horizon in 3 gigantic robots, the base defenses would just obliterate you before you could get close. So in order to get around that, here's what's going to happen. You, the three of you, need to use your skills as pilots to, on foot, get to this base and disable enough of the defenses so that an aerial transport can airdrop your 3 mechs into the field. So this is where you've begun. You have managed to sneak up to the edge of the base. You're here over by the parking lot. And you can see, well, you can't see, but you know from intel, the base has a number of heavy turrets. It has as well tanks roving around. There's an enemy squad of scout-type ALMs, and presumably their commander-type ALM with them, somewhere around the base. Anti-air guns, which will shoot down the transport if you don't figure out what to do with them. Surveillance gear everywhere, some enemy squads, and fighters on the field nearby. So your task is to figure out how to disable as many of these things as possible so that the YOP transport can get in here.
Do we have any...
To say that I have some mechanical ability and demolition skill. That might come in handy.
Excellent. I'm a proficient hacker. Do we have any intel if these turrets are manned or if they're automated?
They are automated turrets.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
From the intel that you have learned, this base runs with as few people in it as possible because it's supposed to be a secret.
Sucks for them.
Indeed. So, pilot scenes are mostly narrative in this system. There are checks when we need them, but it's just a standard check, and we don't worry too much about stuff like map squares and damage dice and all that stuff. If you get into a fight while you're on foot, it can be deadly, especially if you try to take on a mech while you're on foot. You will die.
Are we considered to have our hard suits on?
Yeah, we'll say you have your hard suits, but we're not going to worry about the mechanical aspects of that unless it comes up, which hopefully it will not.
All right. Does anyone know how to pilot a fighter?
Oh, probably.
Does anyone? There is a piloting skill you can take.
I don't know that anyone's background gives them that field, but it's always something that you can try.
Okay.
If it had an AI system on it, I bet I could convince that AI system to do something for us.
Are the fighters automated too? Are we allowed to know that?
The fighters are not automated.
Ah, dang it. Are they manned by robots?
No, because of the Maxilland particles, things like remote control and different types of remote control are all but impossible to do.
All right.
Even the drones that are on the Switch D that Kane pilots, they are either connected to his mech by wires, or he controls them with his brain. Depends on what he wants to do with that.
Or we're definitely controlling them with my brain.
Okay, then.
All
So
right.
then your character would be a type of human called a novelty.
All right. Well, can I say I'm going to sneak and plant some bombs or like rig some of these to destroy themselves? With my
Which
demolition
things
skills?
you want to destroy?
The turrets.
The turrets? Okay.
No, I can.
So, what's that?
We can maybe deal with the turrets from some kind of central location, though.
Well, I'm wondering if we could do that, destroy some turrets, which would generally help the transport, and then that'd make a distraction. And then you can do your real hacking to hijack all of the rest.
Nice.
Because if they're automated, then they're, and this is a world without Wi-Fi and like complex AIs, so they are probably all routed to some location.
We just need to figure out where that is.
So I'm thinking I go over here and make 10 men look like 100.
Or one look like 10?
Yeah, make one man look like possibly as many as 4.
I just realized I had my mic muted for the last 10 minutes and forgot about it.
Oh, nice.
So I've been
So
trying to
treating
talk
you
to
like
you
a
guys
mod
and going
hero.
like, wow, these guys are assholes.
We just thought you were really shy.
Oh no. So anyway, so my jerk robot has an AI. Is it possible to distract the human component of the base, dummy plug, to crudely troll them over the radio?
Well, there isn't. Radio doesn't work so well. Most long distance communications are done through laser or through like a cable pipeline, but you
Does the transport
can
have any carrier pigeons?
probably perched on it right now because the transport is waiting for your signal, which I assume will be a flare or something that you've already arranged beforehand with the captain of that ship. But you don't have access to your bastions right now until you're able to make this area safe enough for an airdrop. You have to rely on your skills as a human being or a novelty.
Okay, well, my guy might as well just be dead then.
All right.
Alright.
So how this works with pilot stuff is when you want to do something, I will make you roll a check, unless it's something that's covered by one of your fields, in which case you just do it. And if you have to roll a check and you've got either a trait that will help with it or a piece of equipment in your inventory that will help with it, then you get a bonus accuracy dice on your roll. If it's something I think is particularly difficult or deadly, I'll add difficulty dice instead.
Alright. Well, I vote we get this party rolling. And can I sneak over here and try rigging these 3 to splode
Yeah.
with my
you
demolition
can.
skills?
All right,
Yeah, I think you can.
I'm gonna hang out with him until we're in the building, then try and look for some signs of a control room of some kind. But I'm gonna be super stealthy with my active camouflage clothes that I got.
Ooh, that's much more useful than the Swiss Army knife I have.
I am posing as a humble carjacker in the parking lot, pretending that I am simply looking into parked cars for ones that might have the keys in them. But as I do so, in my personal inventory, I have xenophobic chick tracts about the Terran hegemony, and I am pinning them under the windshield wipers of every car.
Nice.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that you brought so many of those.
If you lift up his shirt, they just spill out.
So, in order to sneak past the surveillance devices here, we will need to get a roll from the two of you who are sneaking past. Now, do you think you have traits that would help you be sneaky?
That would be
Not
me.
traits, just
Or
my
equipment.
awesome clothes.
Well, yeah,
Right,
you have
you've
the
got-
clothes.
You've got the reactive clothing, so you can add an accuracy die for that.
And that's just a D6, right?
Yeah, so you roll a d20 plus a d6 if you've got accuracy. And to do that in this system, you type /roll 1d20 plus 1d6, I believe.
No, that was really bad.
Yeah.
So that was just a test.
Do you think the stealth score of 1200 can help me out too?
It's quite possible. Okay,
Wow,
so
what an
you
abysmal
got
roll.
a 5, which does not succeed because you have
No.
to hit a 10 to succeed in this system. That's the only target number for the most part. So you are attempting to sneak down across the parking lot, across this open area here
Mm-hmm.
that I just highlighted. Unfortunately, that open area is just full of cameras,
Oh, geez.
and you are spotted by the cameras.
Okay.
How about Richard? Do you want to make a roll to try and sneak? For you, I guess it's just a straight D20.
Perhaps my space survival skills will help me sneak.
Through this lush vegetation? Perhaps.
Yes. Because I'm really good at holding my breath.
We'll say why not.
Yes. All right. Yeah. 1d20 plus a 1d6.
Yeah.
All right. That's very charitable of you. Slam dunk.
Okay, so you're able to sneak past. So you would be down
In one
here.
breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hold your breath enough and you get yourself down to this area. But unfortunately, Kane, the cameras swivel to face you, and you can't hear it, but you notice the camera noticing you, and you have to assume that means an alarm just went off somewhere.
All right.
I shoot the camera
With your gun?
without even thinking or announcing it to the group. I just shoot the camera as if that will solve the problem.
Pop, pop, pop.
Okay. Well, you do have, as your part of your equipment, a gun. So I guess that
My
gives you one
personal inventory
accuracy.
that's not in all caps.
I'd like to send my remote drone to try and do some kind of remote hack of the remaining wires left behind by this blasted camera.
Okay. We're gonna see if he can shoot the camera first, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna say paranoid counts towards this as well because you did it as a sort of a twitch reaction. So you're rolling 1d20
And
plus 2d6.
That's what we're broadcasting on Twitch.
Yeah, indeed.
D20 plus 6.
That's 2d6.
Dang.
Okay, so you got over a 20, which means that that's like a good success. So you blast the security camera, and I'm going to say
It shears
You
the wall
blast it.
off.
you blast it quickly enough that the security camera only got a slight glimpse of Kane. So we'll retroactively say that perhaps the alarms didn't go off. We're not sure yet, but that camera is definitely not working anymore. So once someone
Camera
notices that the camera's
Run up and
offline,
punch it.
once whoever is in security notices that camera's offline, then maybe the alarm will go off. But it hasn't yet.
So-
You don't hear it.
I'm really scared of that potential outcome, so I really now want to hack this camera and put it on some kind of a loop so it just shows what it had been seeing for the last hour or so.
Okay, you do that because you are a hacker. You don't have to
That's-
roll for that.
It's my thing.
Nice.
Okay, so are you continuing down towards where Richard is?
Yes.
Okay, you can move your tokens down there. I'm actually going to quickly pop in here and turn off the grid because we don't need it right now, and I don't want it making it difficult for you to move your tokens around. So there we go. The grid's not on, so you should be able to. There we go. Perfect. Like I said, even if we do get into mech combat, and we're definitely getting into mech combat, I'm not going to do the strict grid system that that Lancer suggests because it's at this moment in beta and not working very well, and also I don't want to.
All right.
So, the three of you make it down to this building, and you can see above the door there's helpfully a sign that says PBR Factory. This appears to be the main entrance to at least reception, but you don't have blueprints of the base, so you're not 100% sure. There are doors here, and they appear to be locked because you've arrived. Even though it looks like day, it's actually night time, obviously, for a stealth raid.
Well, this is the place we need to blow up, isn't it?
Oh, thank goodness we got to the right spot.
I motion that the other two should go into the building.
Well, I want to climb up on the roof to blow this up. That's still where I'm at.
Okay.
So as he's motioning, can I climb up on his shoulders and onto the roof?
I think you probably can.
All right. He's like
See,
pointing
the
his arm
roof
out, and I
is-
just use that opening to step on the shoulder and ascend.
I follow just because I see Richard doing it and I just want to do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kane's fine with it as long as he doesn't have to go up on the roof.
All right.
Okay, so Richard, you grew up mining asteroids, so your survival field allows you to be good at scrambling around on stuff.
Nice.
Cloud, you
Upon
you're
getting
not
onto the roof.
you're not physically fit, so to get up onto the roof, you're going to have to roll for that.
Ooh.
All right.
But if you have something that you think will help with it, with the task of climbing, then that would be the time. Whether it's one of your traits or something from your inventory.
I have informationconflicts.com branded nutrition supplements in my inventory, but I don't think those actually make you more physically fit.
Right. If anything, that would probably give
Fear
you
of women, which might help.
Maybe if you get tired halfway through, though, you can just chow down on one of those and make it the rest of the way.
I'd like to think that you're going to be like
Maybe
lying on
I'm
your
just-
back, broken and bleeding out, and you're going to like wolf one of those down, and that's like the second wind.
That's what he was waiting for.
Witness
I'm
me!
Stand on
Otherwise-
Kane's shoulders until it gets uncomfortable as I struggle to pull myself over the edge of the roof.
All right, so you just roll a straight d20 for that. And if you make a 10,
Ooh.
Okay, I fall off of Kane
yeah,
It's called a
and
spine.
sprain my ankle.
you fall off Kane and hurt your ankle. Okay.
Can I like
And
I
reach
just,
for
I just
him?
kind of look at him unimpressed.
Can I reach for him for like the bro moment where like I try to grab his arm as it's falling and we like grab each other's wrists? Can we try that?
You grab his wrist, but the spray tan that he's got all over him causes his wrist to slip right through your hands,
All right.
and he lands on his back. It would be embarrassing if he weren't able to rationalize it immediately, I'm sure.
This is all Kane's fault.
Nah. Kane rolls his eyes and continues.
Richard, up on the roof, you see a fighter squadron is parked on the further part of the roof of this building.
A what?
There's a fighter squadron. There's 5 fighters just parked on top of this building.
Oh, okay. Just the ones we can see.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, there's 5 more. That was
No,
that
just
would
those
have
5.
upset me. Okay. All right. Can I? Are there pilots standing outside?
I
of them or
yell
anything
up,
like that?
"What do you see?"
Shh.
You can't see the pilots out there, but you can see like the part of the stairwell the pilots would come up to get here,
Okay.
and the elevator that they would take.
All
And
right.
of course, there are more surveillance devices all around. They haven't spotted you yet, but if you move, they might.
All right. I'm going to hold my breath. And I think I'm still going to attempt... I'm going to stick with the mission. I'm going to attempt to sneak thither to have, my view obstructed by these guns so I can sort of like hug right and close up to one of these. And
it might help if Kane did something in this building before you try to sneak past all the surveillance and the automated turrets designed to shoot things that move.
But I get a strong premonition that Kane should do something first and defer.
Cloud, do you want to try and infiltrate this building with me while he's up
No.
masquerading on the roof?
Or just leave me behind. I'll die here.
So this is the crack team that's been assembled to infiltrate this factory, right?
The worst part is that Cloud has a higher rank than either of you.
I should point out, which Mr. WhyCalibur knows, but I don't know if he shared with the rest of you. Cloud joined the military to win an argument.
Nice.
Profoundly regretted it ever since. He is singularly unqualified for this.
He's very wealthy, though, which probably
Super
helps him
rich,
purchase.
so
That
he
counts.
buys the military like a new pool, and they do whatever he wants.
And that's how he ended up as Lieutenant Commander Cloud Lannister.
Oh, jeez. We really are the bad guys, aren't we?
Well, there are shades of gray.
With Lannisters on our team? All right, Kane,
It's the Pennsylvania land.
Kane's gonna pop over to a window or a door and try and peek into this reception area that we think we're here.
Okay. So you look in through the window, and the area in there is dark. You can see there's a computer in the back behind a reception desk, and doors leading further into the complex. There's a water cooler, uncomfortable-looking couches, magazines that are probably very out of date. And the front door lock is a smart lock.
Ooh. I guess I'll have to find out how smart it is with my awesome hacking skills.
Okay. What does it look like when you try to hack the lock?
Kane's actually got like mechanical hands.
Yeah.
So the way I imagine him hacking things is these cables actually come out of his fingertips and go into the thing he's trying to hack. And he just uses his amazing mental mechanical hacking abilities through his fingers.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Ladies.
this is electronics, so you do it. You are able to open up the lock, and you find that it's actually very easy because they neglected to change the default password.
So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So it's just you know how it is with government procurement. They just get the cheapest possible option. And this is the cheapest possible option. And
Ooh.
it opens immediately. The door opens up. You're able to bypass the alarm that would normally go off when the door opens at an unauthorized time, and you're in the lobby. There are cameras here as well, but your eye is obviously drawn to the computer at the reception desk.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to check out.
Cloud, what are you doing?
I hobble after Kane,
Okay.
and when he makes it into the lobby, I look for things I can steal.
Ooh.
I thought you were wealthy already.
You don't get
I
wealthy
stay
writing
wealthy.
checks.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
From
So
the enemy and then eBay it.
yeah, there's the old magazines. There's the water cooler. It's full. Just regular water though, not the kind of vitamin water that Cloud normally insists on drinking.
Just that regular stuff.
There's the computer itself. There are some potted plants. But overall, it's just
magazines, and I consider taking one of the potted plants, but don't. I also empty out the water cooler onto the floor to create a trap.
Okay. Where do you do that? Like by the entrance, or?
In front of the nearest doorway further into the facility.
Nice.
Okay.
That any guards running in will slip and...
Okay, good.
This is a great military mind you guys have in command of you.
You do have the leadership talent.
We're inspired to compensate for your shortcomings.
Okay.
We're doing
right.
8th MS team. You guys would have shot me by now.
No doubt. This is more a Zeonic front style. Kane, what do you do with that computer?
I want to see if it's connected at all to their security grid. I know it's probably just some kind of like scheduling receptionist area, but maybe I can, since everything's LAN connected, maybe it's in there too.
Okay, well it is, you find that it is networked with the rest of the base, but because this will actually be a little bit difficult, you will need to roll for this, but you'll have 2 accuracy dice.
Ooh.
Nice. Those accuracy dice did help me a lot last time, so.
Oh, they definitely did.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Jesus.
Okay.
So I don't know if I told you, but Kane's super incompetent.
Just cracks under the slightest bit of pressure.
That sounds about right.
When we get through this, you're buying us all the rings. Ah!
This makes perfect sense for the larger meta story of this world I've ripped off that no one will ever learn about because this is a one-shot. But it does make perfect sense that Commander Seer Easeworthy has put together the worst team.
Nice.
Okay, so while you're in there, you are able to before you get caught, you are able to redirect the security cameras on the roof. But, so that means that Richard will be able to sneak where he wants to sneak without getting seen. But as you are trying to get deeper into the system, you get a little bit greedy, and you trip a hidden
Firewall.
Sure. You're trying to hack the planet. Everyone knows what a good hacker I am. You trip a hidden firewall.
Episode of The Outer Limits that I like, and Angelina Jolie keeps switching it to a different episode.
Okay, and that does finally cause that alarm to go off, and you hear klaxons from deeper within the facility, and bars come down over the front door where you just came in, and red emergency lights come on.
Oh, geez.
So you can hear the klaxons. You've got
Do we have,
a couple minutes before security gets here.
Do we have ways of communicating with Richard on the roof, or do I just need to take like a broom handle and bang it up on the ceiling above me?
At this short range, you can communicate. You're only like a couple meters apart, really.
All right. I just go, security's down, go, go, go.
All right, and I know Kane's a really good hacker, so I'm glad this is going to go off without a hitch. He gets +2 accuracy die. I'll be home in an hour. I merrily jaunt down and then get real comfy with this and hide there.
Okay, you are now behind these turrets. They didn't see you coming because the cameras are playing a loop of what was on the roof before, courtesy of Kane's work before he messed up.
All right, I'm gonna plant my bombs, or rig these up to explode, I guess. So they've got munitions in them. I rig them all up to detonate in 12 seconds.
Okay. And you have demolition, so that just happens.
Yep. And...
Go ahead.
Oh, well, and then I would just say, then I just get ready to run.
Okay. As you are getting ready to run, you hear the elevator on the far side of the roof where those fighters are start, and you can hear footsteps coming up the stairwell.
Oh. All right, am I allowed to respond to that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. I take one last shell that's available. Steal it from one of the turrets. Can I set it for a timer and then throw it into the stairwell?
I'm sorry, I was listening, but my brain shut off for a minute. What was that you wanted to do?
I was pitching that you and I get in a swingers club.
Okay, yeah.
No,
sure.
Can I take one of the munitions time to explode and throw it in the stairwell?
Of course, yeah.
All right.
Something you can do.
So I notice they're coming up the stairwell. I grab one of them and huck it to hopefully cause it to cave in.
All right. You throw the bomb, and you're good at demolition, so the timing is fine.
Yeah.
But throwing it to get it over there might be a little more tricky. So we're going to do a roll for that.
One sec. Allow me to consult my character sheet. I'm
this is
lonely.
happening.
Does that make me
I'm
better
telling
at throwing?
Kane that Richard's probably dead.
Don't worry about it.
If only we could get out of here, we could just abandon this mission and go and live safely somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what was your justification there?
Oh, being lonely, does that make me good at throwing things? Perhaps inventive? I'm looking for something here.
Pitch me on it. Pitch me something. Why would that be?
Okay, I'm gonna pitch actually that working long hours in the mines honed my throwing abilities, because in a low gravity environment, your ability to, pass equipment back and forth to people gets used so regularly that I got pretty good at the old hand-eye coordination.
All right, take yourself an accuracy die.
Nice. All right, 1d20 plus 1d6.
That's a
plus 126. I rolled a 15.
You got pretty good at throwing it. As an aside, I do like the image of miners just throwing overhand equipment at each other.
Oh yeah, well that's why I got buried alive there, because this was not a very safe place.
You're constantly just throwing bombs at each other. Catch!
You got a full half minute before it goes off. Don't whine.
That's how you haze
all right.
new guys.
So the stairwell collapses. They're going to have a difficult time getting out of it. You hear shouts of surprise, a few screams. The elevator is still coming up, but you have bought yourself time if you want to get out of here or do something else.
I'd like to leave the area of the explosion.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. So, having wasted some of my time, I bolt, I guess, further down the roof.
Okay. As you head down there, you notice, as you're running south, to your right, there's like a giant thing that looks like a big golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, as far as you're aware, where they store the maxillant particles that they compress into the P-clips.
Okay. So would those explode?
They might, but probably not with anything you're carrying on you.
Okay.
Kane and Cloud, you are locked in. You can hear footsteps coming now in the hall.
All right. Is this computer still connected to the network, or have I been locked out entirely?
You've been locked out of the network, but you are still connected to the computers in this building.
Okay. All I want to do is try and open the bars that are blocking our escape.
Okay. Yeah, so it'll be you'll have to do that with the 2 accuracy dice to make a roll for that, because that's now the system knows you're in there. It's fighting back with its
Oh jeez.
dummy
Is
plug
it
style.
possible to give Kane, use my leadership skill to give Kane a bonus by screaming at him and waving my gun around?
Kane, do you work well under pressure?
No.
Then, if you are screaming at him, that would probably be a disadvantage die. It should be, and of course, I mean, Cloud would be doing that, so it would be...
But I work really well when I'm fearful for my life, so maybe those would, like, counter each other out.
They do, you're fearful.
I'm also
so...
rolling up one of the old magazines that I stole and hitting him with it while he does this.
There we go.
So, I'll say that the disadvantage from being dealt with by Cloud's horrific management skills is balanced out by your ability to work when you're fearful, because that's one of your traits. So 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage just cancel out. Just roll 1d20.
All right, I got critical success.
Okay, so you got the 16, and without the d6s there, that means you have succeeded. You are able to get the bars on the front door open.
Cool.
And they are now stuck that way.
Shove Kane out of the way to run towards them.
He's sitting down, so the shove is completely unnecessary.
I push him out of his chair.
Oh, I hack in a standing position. Nobody sits down after taking something seriously.
Of course. Who would think otherwise? So as you reach the door and rush out, you hear the door into the reception area there open, and a bunch of security people are yelling and running in, and then you hear shouts of surprise as they slip in the pool of water that Cloud created by emptying out the water cooler. So they're piled up. You've got a few extra seconds while they extricate themselves from that pile up they've gotten into.
I'm gonna try and re-engage the smart lock on the front door.
Okay, that's going to be tough. You're going to have to roll your d20 for that.
Oh, but it was so easy to unengage it.
Yeah, but again, now the system is in lockdown. Just a regular d20 roll on that, and we'll see how that goes.
Nope.
Okay, it is not... the smart lock explodes.
Oh,
and,
jeez.
This stuns you for a second, and while you are stunned, the security people are able to get on their feet and pile out towards you. They see you, and they're coming for you now.
All right. I'm just running.
Fire.
Pardon me?
Firing.
Oh, you're shooting your gun at them. Okay. So you're shooting your gun. The first person gets shot right in the chest, and they are... What kind of gun is this that you have? Is it like a ludicrously oversized overcompensation?
No, it's like actually no, it's like RoboCop's gun.
Right.
The satrapy flag on it, and the handle is shaped like the neck and head of an eagle.
Right. Okay. So that the bullet from that takes the first person in the chest, and they stumble backwards a bit. If you want to keep shooting, there are about a dozen of these security people coming now. So if you want to keep shooting, that's going to put you in a dangerous situation.
That guy's hurt. Call a medic.
They're military security, so they're still coming towards you, but they don't have guns for some reason. They're all waving like cattle prods as they run towards you.
What kind of place is this?
Richard, behind you, and Kane and Cloud above you, you hear a huge explosion as the turrets up here explode from what Richard did to them. And I'll say that explosion, because it's right next to these, damages the two fighters closest to the turrets.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm just going to put this random...
That Richard has been killed.
...symbol on them. There you go.
So, seeing that explosion, I'm thinking that maybe that direction is somewhere where they can drop our mechs for us safely, because there's no turrets in that direction. So I turn and I start running south as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
Do we know like how much of an opening we need?
You need at least 5 minutes.
No, but like physical space.
Oh. So you just need a space that is safe enough for the transport to come through and drop off your mechs. And your mechs are about 20 meters tall each. So you need a space that will accommodate the three of them landing.
Okay.
And not collapse under them.
Maybe bombing the roof didn't help.
So, what do you want to do? Security is chasing you. If you're standing your ground, you're going to have to start rolling in a dangerous situation. If you're running, we'll deal with that. But you've got this whole base to go through, and there's, lots of advantageous things you could probably figure out to do if you put your minds to it.
Challenge accepted. So you said these lovely spheres have like the particles inside them, right?
They do.
What sort of terrible things do those particles do to machines?
It depends how they're used. They can power the machines, or they can be compressed into a beam.
What if they just got like, I opened that thing up and it just sprayed everywhere? Like, would that have any advantageous effect, and would it kill me?
It would not kill you because it's a containment device for the particles in their uncompressed form.
Okay.
So they would just sort of disperse into the atmosphere and cause more radio and wireless problems.
Would it disrupt any of the other electronics here?
The electronics at the particle compression base are shielded against the particles that they're compressing.
All right.
But your goal is to destroy those things and lay waste to as much of the space as possible.
Right. Okay, well, I was going to flirt with the idea of using my Omni torch to cut it open and stuff, but I think that's a wasted effort.
It might be, at this point.
Yeah, there's three of us, there's three of them. If we get our Bastions, we can just trash them.
Yeah.
As God intended. Alright then. Okay, so I was over here. Can I run thither and try to help them onto the roof? Because I think Kane should try hijacking one of these turrets.
The turrets you blew up?
No, one of these 5 over here.
Oh, the ones in the southwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that'll give us a really big landing area and protection, and the security's down.
Okay. So we'll say here there's the flagpole flying the THF flag. You could probably use that to shimmy up to the roof of this building if somebody knocks it down somehow or bends it. It would make a decent way to get up there.
All right.
If you can also somehow hold off the security forces while Kane and Cloud are climbing, or if one of them can do that.
Okay. Well, can I run over there and use my Omni Torch to like heat up the metal and then bend it into an appropriate shape?
You want to get off the roof and go over to the flagpole to do that?
I'm going to jump down and saw off part of the bottom to bend it so I can form a path back up.
All right. You're working on that. It'll take a minute or two.
Yeah.
And Kane and Cloud, how are you dealing with the pursuit while this is happening?
How close are they to us?
I mean, they're running, you're running. They're in better shape than Cloud. They might be in better shape than Kane. So, I mean, they're closing. They're going to catch you if you don't do something about it. And then they'll just be beating you with cattle prods.
Well, Kane definitely doesn't want that.
No, why would he?
What I'm gonna do, I've got my little handheld drone, my personal drone. And it's not very quiet, so it's not good for stealth, but I bet you that if I rigged it, it could make a pretty big distraction if you flew it into the middle of a bunch of people and told it to blow up.
Okay. You're going to sacrifice your drone to give yourself an escape.
I'm going to sacrifice my drone.
They don't have ranged weapons. Can it, like, do a painful sound or something like that?
It is very loud.
Yeah.
Specifically very loud.
Yeah, it is specifically loud. It would, like, the sound would affect you as well. So you can do that, but you'll have disadvantage on any rolls you have to make. If you want to sacrifice that gear, then you won't be able to use it for the remainder of the mission, but I will say that gives you enough time to get up onto the roof.
Yeah, so my plan is to rig it as kind of like a flashbang kind of effect. And just crash it right into the front group of them.
Did it have a name? Was its name Laura?
It's not important now.
Of course it had a name.
I do make note that this mission, or after I survive this mission, I don't know about you two, but the drone will be given a posthumous promotion.
Oh, nice.
It might actually get a demotion, but that's, that'll be settled later.
You're gonna throw me in the brig for careless destruction of government property?
For wasting resources.
Okay, so you are able to rig your drone to go into the middle of the pursuit, and it goes. As it goes, you can hear the loud sound of its fans. It's got these little. It's like a ball-shaped drone, and its ears open up to have those fans that let it fly. And it's got little eyes on it that are cameras, and the eyes flash, and it makes happy little noises and stuff like that. So it's making happy little noises.
So cute.
I have to be true to the source material. So the drone flies into the midst of all of these security figures and explodes, and the camera cuts away before we can see how gross that is. But you have time now to get up onto the roof. Richard has created a pole for you to shimmy up to get up there.
More of a way to dance up it, really.
Yeah. I would assume that as a celebrity, Cloud has done certainly some pole dancing before.
Oh yeah, no,
Probably
he took a lot of pole dancing lessons while trying to save his marriage.
Yeah, and I'll say that's a type of etiquette. So you're able to.
The pole dancing lessons actually destroyed his marriage further, but
Yeah, well,
that's in the past.
right now they're saving his life because despite being in not great shape, he's able to shimmy up onto the roof, up the pole.
He's so much faster because he's lubed up by all the sweat that came out of him while running from the guards.
Yeah, running the 10 feet from the guards. Okay.
His face is like legitimately like maroon at this point.
So Kane, how are you going to do shimmying up here?
I think Kane, being super nervous about what's coming through that door that they just left, is just going to try and scramble up kind of on all fours.
Okay. Do you have any traits or equipment that will help you with this, or is it covered by any of your fields? I don't think it's any of your fields, but...
No, not really fields. Unless I did a lot of research into excellent techniques for pole climbing.
Okay.
I guess just his general fear and nervous nature just propelling him onwards is the closest thing that we have.
Okay. And Richard has got the survival that lets him do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in the mines we did this sort of thing all the time.
Oh, totally. You would cut down a support beam in a tunnel and then, climb up it just for fun.
Yeah.
Just very safe conditions.
The only way we could pass the time.
That's the price we have to pay to have a free market. So you roll your d20 plus 1d6 for your fearful trait.
Yay!
Sweet.
All right, you make it. You get up onto the roof, and thankfully good thing you had that trait. So you're all up there.
Can I cut it off at the top again to just drop it down?
Yeah, good idea.
With my torch.
You do that. You can see to your right, all of you, the smoldering remains of the... Beyond that, you can see the 2 fighters are damaged, but the pilots are now getting into the top 3 fighters.
There's 3 of us.
And then I'm going to say you're not close enough. Well, actually, Kane, you have a rifle. That's a long-range weapon.
I do.
Pop.
You might be able to give it a try.
All right, I'll take a shot at the closest fighter.
All right, so that's same deal, d20 plus an advantage die. Unless you think one of your traits will also help in addition to the equipment.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's very good.
Slam dunk. Does that mean
you fire
you
your
killed
battle
2?
rifle?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. You fire your battle rifle, it goes dit-dit-dit. It's 3-round burst. 2 of the rounds just slam into the pilot's center mass at this distance, and the pilot sort of spins as he falls down, probably dying or at least dead. And the 3rd bullet ricochets off the canopy of that, and it buries itself into the leg, into the thigh of the 2nd pilot. So that person is just a little
totally
bit,
planned that.
is a little bit delayed and maybe won't be piloting their fighter. So there's 2 fighters that haven't been manned, but the pilot does get into the 3rd fighter, and this one lifts off into the air.
Whoa.
All right. Can I run and try getting in one of the fighters?
It's a bit of a distance. You will have to avoid getting shot by the fighter that's lifting up in the air if you want to do that.
Well, doesn't it take it a while to get up? I mean, to take off?
It's a VTOL fighter.
Oh, okay.
In this case.
I'm doing it.
Okay, so this is dangerous. Meaning if you fail your roll, you will have to check off one of your traits. So do you have anything that can help you get advantage on this?
Can I take my Omni tool, or my Omni torch, and like smash off the end and use it to rocket propel myself to be extremely fast and harder to hit? because of the speed?
It sounds incredibly dangerous, but also very anime. So yes, but you will lose your Omni tool.
All right, let's do it.
Can we help each other in this system? Like, could I give him covering fire or anything like that?
Sure, we'll say that gives him another advantage die.
All right, so I roll d20 plus d6
Plus 2d6.
to avoid being shot.
Yep.
All right, I think this macro will work now.
All right. Fortunately, you only needed above 10, so so
I rolled
you do
a
it.
2 on the d20.
So narrate to us what this looks like.
All right, so I smash it off and I was like, "This is for all the boys back home," and immediately fall forward. But I'm still clutching the back of the torch as it blows exhaust, igniting from the back, and am dragged. I want to say by my left leg. Eventually, it breaks free from my hands, but it has snagged a bit of loose fabric on my left leg and pulls me along to the fighter, and I managed to kick it off right in time to reach it.
Okay. So you are at the fighter. There's the dying pilot on the ground near you, and the other pilot who got shot in the leg. Extremely surprised to see you.
All right. Well,
Is
no,
he
let's
surprised
look
because he
at this
knows
thing.
him?
Cloud, what you want to do?
He's surprised because he knows Richard and recognizes him from childhood or something.
You saw him on the internet.
I'm back in the mine. But anyway, so while I order Kane to risk his life to get to the other fighter, to take cover by one of the valuable things that I fear. I feel that not get shot by the fighter because I'm right by the golf ball.
Okay. That's actually a very good idea in terms of hiding. Richard, you are working on getting into that fighter there. Kane, you have been ordered to go and get the other fighter.
I look kind of both ways for a second, and then immediately start to follow Cloud over towards the valuable thing. So
You're getting court-martialed, dude.
I mean, that's the response that makes the most sense. All right, so you head over there. The fighter is now turning to begin a strafing run on Richard, but it's hesitating because it doesn't want to blow up another THF fighter. They're not as expensive as Bastions, but they are not cheap.
All right.
So Richard, you're there. The dead pilot that's lying on the ground there did have a gun on them, and the pilot who's wounded is starting to reach for their gun as well.
All right. Also, quick question: do fighters have like keys or anything like that?
No. Well, no. It's all done by you type in like a code or something.
Oh no. All right.
No. Forget that. That would make too much sense. You see that the gun that the pilot has on the butt of the gun, there is a glowing bit that looks like that has to be plugged into the cockpit.
It's got a fob on his gun.
Yeah.
This is the gun that goes on my keychain.
Yeah.
Ugh, Murica. All right. Well, you know what? Let's try this. I think I'm gonna get killed before I can get in the fighter. So, can I grab the dead man's gun and then try taking the other guy hostage for a minute?
Yeah, you can try that.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the dead man's gun and then try to get the other guy in a headlock and have the gun pointed at his head.
Okay. Now you're still in a dangerous situation, so
Yes.
you're gonna have to roll to do this. What do you think will be? Oh, sorry. Did you already roll and I was in another? No. Okay. So, do you think you've got anything that will help you with this?
Actually, okay. Well, let me put this out there. I also have my Space Swiss Army knife.
Uh-huh.
Could I save time, like, because I did just skid over here pretty quickly. Could I save time by not grabbing the gun and instead using the knife and, like, hold him at knife point instead?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to do that instead.
Okay.
Forget the guns. I got him at knife point. I was like,
You brought a knife to a gunfight?
Literally brought a knife to a gunfight, but it has, like, a screwdriver on it and an awl in case your shoes need repair.
Alright, so make your roll with an advantage dice for your Space Army knife.
Alright. And... oh no!
You get shot.
Wait, is the macro broken? No, it's not. Alright.
Okay. So Richard, you get shot.
By the THF fighter?
Not by the fighter, by the other pilot, the wounded
Okay.
pilot. They get their gun out while you're trying to take them hostage, and they shoot you. So one of your traits, you have to check it off, and you can't use it for the rest of the mission.
Oh boy. Wait, one of my traits are fields?
Traits.
Like inventive, reckless?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't be reckless anymore. That seems fair.
All right. Yeah. There's a good pun in your chat there. Shooting Richard is a dick move, they say.
Nice.
All right,
Kind of.
so I've...
You know, we don't need that kind of PG-13 talk in this chat.
That's right.
All right, where do you get shot?
Based on what's going on here, I'm gonna say my left shoulder.
Okay. So the bullet shoots you in the left shoulder. It's a 9mm bullet, so it doesn't like send you staggering or anything, but boy does it hurt.
Alright. I express discomfort. With an extremely loud, gosh darn it all to heck.
So Cloud and Kane, you can see this happening. You see the fighter is hovering there trying to get a shot. The fighter, seeing that Richard has been shot, turns and starts flying down towards you, looking for an angle to shoot you from.
As we observe Richard get shot, I turn to Kane and say, "This is on you."
I kind of look at him like kind of panicked, and then over his shoulder I see those other turrets down past him, and then I kind of just like grimace and say,
I'm
like,
going, "Hey, look at my eyes, buddy. I'm talking to you."
completely ignoring that, I say, like, hopefully third time's the charm, and I want to rush down towards these turrets.
Okay, the southwest turrets. So you're running down there, and the turrets swing towards you
Oh jeez.
because the base is on alert now. Also, when you get to this point beyond the golf ball, you see 5 bastions on the other side of the base making their way towards you. And it's 4 Alm scouts. They've got wings and jet engines on their back that allow them to fly for short distances. And jogging behind them is an Alm command, which has a micro-missile launcher on its shoulder and a bigger gun. They've got conical heads with 2 glowing eyes. And, you know, they've each got the PBR lights, the light beam guns that have given the THF the edge in starting to take back the Earth, and the Alm Command has a straight-up PBR, just like the legendary Armsweir, the deadliest deadliest roving bastion of them all.
Well, that's pretty terrifying. So I think Kane is gonna run over here and try and slide down the wall and engage his active reactive clothing and try and hide.
Anyone want to help me?
Can you use that while you're going over towards the turrets, or are you just going to leave it as is, in your opinion?
Well, I think what he's wanting to do is kind of make his way around the back now so that these giant things don't see him.
So we'll do all that with one roll.
Okay.
And you add a die for your reactive clothing, and I would say your fearful is in play here as well, because this
Cool.
is terrifying.
Super terrifying.
can add 2d6 to your roll. You
Yeah.
you just make it. You just make it.
We're all about the bare minimum here.
Picture it as like, you know, you're running and like you almost slip, and then there's kind of like that whoop 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 moment, and then you catch your balance at the last second.
It was only remembering Cloud's leadership that kept me on my feet.
I'm not gonna let you down.
So you make it over there, and we'll just say you seize control of this turret.
All right, I want to use it to try and shoot down the THF fighter.
Okay.
So would that be another roll? Would I use my electronics abilities?
Before we do that, because it's going to take you a couple seconds to get it online and stuff, I want to know what Cloud and Richard are doing.
That's been left to die. So I fire a shot at Kane as a warning.
Oh, shit.
It intentionally goes wide, but
You hear a bullet go past you from Cloud's obnoxious pistol.
Yeah, does it have like really good sound effects with it too? Like I'm imagining it's got a bit of an air horn built into it.
A bit of what built into it?
Like an air horn, so it's got like a...
It's the perfect gun for infiltration.
Yeah, there's actually no bullets. It's just sound.
if you hold the trigger down for like just an instant, it's just Cloud screaming angrily. But if you hold it down for a while, it's the Diplo horns. So I've got the my path to Richard is blocked by the fighter, and
Yeah.
this is an interesting one. So the golf balls, how are those held up? Is it like underneath? Is there like a pillar or?
It's like there's grate or grill work and stuff, like metal, skeletal metal stuff below it.
Inventory sucks for doing anything. I mean, I planned it that way.
Yeah,
now that I'm gonna get shot by a jet fighter, I'm like, oh, whoops.
Looks back on his life with regret. Why did I bring the tracts?
You do have the flare gun. I'll say that you because you're the leader of this squad, you have the flare gun to summon the transport. This area is not safe, but it is safer than it was for a transport because there's only one fighter in the air. 3 of the anti-air guns are down, and Kane's got control of another one.
I still haven't seen the scouts, so.
You have not.
Do is try to hop from the roof into like the grill work of the golf ball.
Okay.
I would just kind of hope that the fighter will not shoot me and instead kill Kane, who is now my enemy for life.
Okay, so you are able to, like, are you leaping dramatically or are you climbing?
I don't know. I mean, what kind of a jump is it?
Probably like a 5 feet between the edge of the roof and the gantry, not gantry, the grills. What is the word I'm looking for? The gentry, yes. The landed gentry who are holding up this golf ball.
By rolling for that, like a D20 -8 or something?
Just a D20, unless you have something that'll help with it.
Celebrity?
Bunch of... The gentry recognize me and open
They
their
reach
arms.
out their hands to you.
No,
One of us.
Patented informationcomplex.com alpha brain pills. I have no idea if that will actually do anything, but it makes me feel better.
Well, we'll see how the advantage die rolls. So you can add that on.
How much would I add for that?
And it's just 1d6 you add for using that equipment.
All right, so here goes nothing. Okay, I fall.
The pills worked.
I I plummet to the ground.
The
actually,
pills. Yep. Well,
and
with
I
the
hit
way
the
this,
grate and I fall.
the way this roll seems to have worked out is that, astonishingly, those supplements do work, but you jump badly. So you go to jump, you pop your supplements, you feel a rush of strength and energy, and then you just trip over the edge of the roof and slam face first into the metal, and then sort of fall bouncing off the different spars until you hit the ground. You're going to have to check off one of your traits.
Fluttering in the air. Okay, so what happened in this case is that I hit my head very hard, and it robbed me of my fear of women.
Okay. When you stand back up, you think back on your 7 previous marriages and consider, maybe the problem was me. But then you immediately dismiss that thought.
No, it's the women that
Actually
are wrong.
harassing interns for at least a week.
Yeah, so you check off you're scared of women there. But you are off the roof and under the thing. It just wasn't how you wanted it to look. The optics weren't good.
That is the story of Cloud Lannister's life.
Richard,
All right,
there's
so
a person's got a gun on you, you've got a knife in your hand, you've been shot, they've been shot.
okay. Well, time to bury the knife.
What are you doing with your knife?
Shoving it in his neck.
Okay. Do you have a trait that will help you with this?
Survival?
I don't think that's one of your traits.
Oh, a trait that would help it. Inventive.
You- It would help, but you checked that one off.
No, I checked off reckless.
Oh, but you can only have 3 traits. I thought inventive reckless was like inventively reckless.
Oh, okay. I have something wrong on mine. All right, let's remove this. No, inventive and reckless were separate ones.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I have inventive, reckless, and then insecure / lonely.
Okay, so with the system you get 3 total traits, 2 good ones and 1 complicating or bad one.
Yeah, that's what the lonely is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now the first trait that you have is checked off, which is everything on that line.
Yeah, well, basically I had it down wrong originally, so I had a 4th trait on there, which was just like sarcastic.
Right.
So I'm just
But you
removing
don't want
one
that
from my
one?
sheet. Yeah, so we'll just drop that one.
Okay, I'll redo my sheet over here too. So you took out reckless, but you still have inventive as your next.
And then I just took, sarcasm off the list. Alright, I'm still inventive and lonely.
Right.
So I'm going to say that the feeling of being entangled with another person, even though they're a mortal enemy, the company's nice. And so I realized that this is actually the happiest I've been in several months.
It's nice that someone cares about you.
That's
for
right.
once.
I mean, we're really having this moment. Never more alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so add your 2d6, one from your knife and one from your perverse sense of attention.
10.
You got exactly 10. So has Richard ever killed someone before up close? With his
He's
knife?
been around death.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and was buried alive for an extended period of time. So he's he's not seeing people dead around him is not foreign.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take your knife meant for creation, not for destruction, and you suddenly lunge towards this enemy pilot, and they start to raise their gun, but then they see that you're within their guard and your knife is coming for their neck, and their eyes widen and they throw up their free hand to try and grab your arm, and they grab your arm, but you've got the momentum, and the tip of your knife is just inching towards their neck as you both struggle to try and them to keep the knife out of them and you to put the knife into them. And just like centimeter by centimeter, you slowly push the knife into this person's neck as their eyes get wider and wider, and then they gasp, and you see the life start to leave their eyes.
And in an anime scene, really hard cyan angle, my face on the right half, their face on the left half, hard slash dividing the two, and we can see tears streaming down my face.
Indeed.
And I say, "Thank you, my senpai."
And they're just gurgling, but you can hear them saying like, "What?" as they die. That's their final word.
So this moment, in conjunction with Richard losing his sense of loneliness, is basically what creates a serial killer.
Yeah, that'd do it.
That's next year's Extra Life, is a detective story on the trail of Richard.
Okay, so you can take either of these fighters now if you want, because you just have to take the gun from whichever body matches the fighter.
Well,
and nobody else is paying attention to you right now.
Yeah, the one who taught me a lesson, obviously.
Ah, right.
Just take them both and ride with like 1 foot in each cockpit.
Yeah, I'm gonna ghost ride the two of them, straddling them. In the mines,
You
we would
pick
do
up
this
air
sort
on
of
the
thing.
wings like some kind of Mr. Bean situation.
So you pick up the gun, and they do have a keychain attached to it, and it's got a picture of their family, of course. All right,
Jeez.
Kane.
All right.
Kane, you have got control over this anti-air gun. You see there's a fighter jet menacing Cloud, but Cloud is huddled underneath the Maxilin particle container,
That should be good
and
coverage.
the fighter is on the other side of that container. So you can shoot your turret at the fighter, but there's a good chance you'll hit and collapse the thing on top of Cloud. If you do.
He did try to shoot me.
There's also 4 other turrets and the incoming Alms. And also, I'm just going to say that all 3 of you have a flare gun that you can use to signal for the transport whenever you think it'll be safe enough for it.
So this turret would be connected by land to all the turrets. So I could reasonably try to hack into all the turrets from here.
Yeah, you could. You'd have to roll to do that, but you could do it.
All right, I'm going to try and do that. I'll use my
Okay.
hacking, and I'll use my intelligent trait to make me just so good at hacking.
Okay, so you've got the 2 advantages for that.
Bam.
All right, you do it. You have control over these 5 turrets now. What do you want to do with them?
Well, I'm gonna aim them at the ALMs that are approaching and have them open fire as I run off to the southeast and shoot my flare gun.
Okay, so they're firing towards the which?
The ALMs.
Okay, so they turn and begin concentrating their fire on that group. They are taken by surprise, and I will say one of them is destroyed by this incoming fire. The lead one blows up, leaving 3 scouts and the command. The fighter is still hovering around, but when it sees this happen, it gives up on trying to shoot Cloud, kind of assuming it's just like the pilot rationalizes to herself, he's probably dead after that fall, and it flies over here to...
He doesn't need to be afraid of women.
It's true.
So
I mean,
for
some reason they just don't like him.
So it's got an opening, and it is going to... she is going to use her scanners and see Kane.
Oh, jeez.
So she opens fire. And Kane, you said you were running because you want to set off the flares?
Yeah, I want to run off kind of in this direction. Down here.
Okay. So make me a roll to get off the roof safely while a fighter jet is shooting at you.
Can I cut in for a second and flare gun from my position, like try to aim it at, like the cockpit, the viewport, whatever it would be of the THS fighter?
Mm-hmm. You
Flare
want to shoot
and
at...
hopefully blind this woman for life.
Okay, so if you want to shoot your flare gun at the fighter, you can do that. So normally I would give you a difficulty for trying to attack someone with a flare gun, but I think your gun's field will cancel that out. So it'll just be a regular D20 roll.
I accidentally rolled D20 plus 17, and here we go.
All right, you fire the flare. It explodes just above the canopy of the fighter jet, and the pilot within, who did not see that coming, is at least momentarily blinded. And the fighter appears to be spiraling out of control as she attempts to clear her vision, or at least stabilize the notoriously temperamental VTOL jet she's flying.
Fist pump to myself, like, all right,
Still got
I
it.
did something today.
So Kane, you fired the flare. The anti-aircraft turrets are holding off the Alms approaching from the west. Richard, you got into a fighter. I'm going to say that you are safe-ish for now, and the transport is on its way.
Do I need to shoot down the other fighter while it's spiraling?
Is Richard a fighter pilot?
No.
Okay, so you can try. It would be
Yeah.
hard, but you can try. So you
I'm a
Pop
Bastion pilot. Does that give me advantage?
No, they're entirely different control systems. So yeah, if you want to, you hop into the fighter. Just put that one over there. And you have to, essentially there's a holster in the cockpit. You have to holster the special gun in the cockpit holster, and that's what turns on the fighter.
I holster it.
And the fighter comes to life. And it says, "Where would you like to go today?"
All right. I say collision course with that spiraling out of control fighter.
A little icon of a paperclip appears on the screen. It says, "It looks like you're trying to perform a suicide attack." And it starts guiding you through the processes that you would need to disable the safeties and allow you to attempt to crash into a friendly fighter.
All right. I begin to follow the instructions from this wizard.
Okay. As you are doing that, you hear the loud engines of the Yogg transport approaching. And we'll just fast this forward a bit. Copy and...
Woo!
Your three bastions drop out of the transport and land on this roof, narrowly missing the out-of-control fighter, and they are standing by. The Garfield and the Switch both have dummy plugs, so they can do basic stuff, but the Geode is just standing there, waiting for its pilot. So if you want to get into them, you're gonna have to get over to them to get in, but it shouldn't be too difficult with the turrets occupying the elms and the other fighter pilot a little blinded. Though Richard, you could also Oh, okay. So you're a mechanic, right, Richard?
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to use those mechanics skills to essentially hotwire that jet,
Yeah.
and
I was
set it
hoping I
on a
could
collision.
eject.
Yeah, you set it on a collision course and you eject,
All right.
and it crashes into the other jet, and they both explode spectacularly.
Yay.
Kaboom. There we go.
All right.
Is my
I guess we suit up.
do it? So is the dummy plug sufficient that the Garfield can land near Cloud and pick him up and kind of cradle him like a baby? The entryway.
It does. It comes over towards you and extends a hand down to help you up to the roof to get you into its cockpit.
Whisper to it, "We're going to kill Kane."
All right. So, how do the three of you get into your Bastion? We've already heard how Cloud does it.
I think I just slowly hobble my way over to it, clutching my injured shoulder, lamenting the loss of my reckless character and innocence.
So does the Geo, does it kneel for you to get in, or does like a rope that comes down that pulls you up? Or...
The whole chest plate opens up. Top part goes up, bottom part goes bottom, and yeah, just the whole thing opens like a shell, ready for me to enter it.
Cool. All right. So it unfolds, and you are able to get on in there into the Geode. And Cloud, you are in the Garfield. And Kane, how do you get into the Switch drone type?
I have a swarm of drones come down and pick me up by both my shoulders, carry me, and slowly drop me into the cockpit.
Okay. Then the cockpit closes up, and all of your systems come online for the three of you. And you can all now see the ALMs over there. Another one of them has been damaged by the turrets, but not destroyed. And they have actually taken out the turrets, so they're on their way over to you now. Which means we are going to switch to the mech combat rules.
Yay!
And so I'll put the grid back on, even though we're not going to use it exactly as the system suggests. We are going to use it for basic ideas. Enabled, 1 units, boom. Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute here. How are you all doing?
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good.
Okay. I'm going to take a very short break. I have to put some stuff onto these tokens, and then I am going to...
Live and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So if you need to grab a drink or something, now's the time. We'll just take 5-ish and meet back up to get into this giant robot fight.
Yay! All right, sounds good.
Sounds good.